My phone is my bank.
Sambat Mobile Banking. Convenient, easy, saves time. Sambat Bank, we present your future.
A very good evening and welcome to Primetime News live on Newsfirst. We're coming to you direct from the Newsfirst Centre here in Colombo. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
Hello there, a very good evening. I'm Joel Outsgood. We start off with a look at the headline-making stories this evening.
A guarantee for the future. UPFA unveils manifesto with many promises.
මාස 6ක් ඇතුළ මේ සියවසට ගැලපෙන නව ව්‍යවස්ථාවක් අපි ඔබට ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා.
SLFP membership of 5, including Rajitha, Hirunika, Arjuna, suspended. Venuel Maduluwawe Sobratero makes a plea ahead of the elections. Funeral of former Indian President Dr. Abdul Kalam to take place on Thursday.
Taking a look at the stories in detail now. The chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, President Maithripala Sirisena, suspended the membership of 5 party members today who acted in violation of the party rules and regulations to contest the upcoming general elections.
Issuing a communique, the President's Media Division noted that the Sri Lanka Freedom Party membership of Dr. Rajitha Senawatna, S.B. Navinna, M.K.D.S. Gunawardena, Arjuna Ranatunga and Hirunika Premachandra have been suspended with immediate effect. The communique further reads that this measure was taken by the chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party by the powers vested on him through the party constitution, as the aforementioned persons had acted in violation of the party rules and regulations. The communique goes on to say that President Maithripala Sirisena, who is the chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, had informed the members of this decision.
On to a developing story this evening. The election manifesto of the United People's Freedom Alliance was unveiled today. The election manifesto of the United People's Freedom Alliance, titled A Guarantee for the Future, was presented to President Maithripala Sirisena this morning at the President's official residence. The leaders of the alliance had informed the President on the development projects and the social-economic program that will be initiated during the next 5 years. The singular copy of the election manifesto was presented to the President by General Secretary of the UPFA, Susil Premachanda, while the Tamil copy was presented by the General Secretary of the SLFP, Anurup Priyadarshaniappa. Later, the elections manifesto was unveiled to the public at an event at the Henry Pedris grounds in Colombo. The event was held under the auspices of UPFA Kurunegala district candidate Mahinda Rajapaksa and was attended by a number of frontline leaders of the UPFA.
We have learned the lessons from the past. We will remain patient when we need to. However, when we need to fight for the country, we will do so. If we need to think new, we will think new. We had the time to think new over the past 6 months. There is only one group in the UPFA and not 2. We only have the group that is against the United National Party.
The 12-point policy manifesto of the United People's Freedom Alliance, titled A Guarantee for the Future, elaborates on the relief that will be provided to the people. Among the relief includes the reasonable reduction in the prices of essential good items, including infant milk powder, reduce the domestic water bill by 50%, provide a gas cooker and cylinder for each Samurudhi household, and provide an allowance of 350 rupees for it. The manifesto also proposes to provide a monthly aid of 7,500 rupees for critical kidney patients and also 5,000 rupees as a special aim for families with children with special needs or parentless children. The election manifesto of the UPFA also says low-income generating families living in state-owned houses on rent or lease over 10 years will be given deeds to those very houses. The UPFA also hopes to provide expectant mothers from low-income families a monthly allowance of 1,500 rupees and recruit 25,000 midwives. It adds that an interest-free loan will be given to all advanced level students to purchase a personal computer, while 50,000 rupees would be presented to youth between the ages of 18 and 25 to pursue their higher education. In addition, a scholarship of 10,000 rupees would be given to students who gain university access, while the Mahapala scholarship will be raised to 6,000 rupees. The election manifesto of the United People's Freedom Alliance also notes of providing a concessionary loan of 200,000 rupees for low-income families to use for their weddings.
United National Party Hambantota district candidate Sajid Premadasa, speaking in Hambantota today, commented on the election promises made by the UPFA.
This individual who was rejected is now making a lot of empty promises. He says that he promised to build 25 houses in each village per year. He promised to build 4.3 million houses. Those have not been constructed. He did not provide financial relief. Now he is saying that he will provide more benefits to some of the beneficiaries. My friends, how can he give more for the Samurdhi when they swindle money from the Samurdhi? They spent 25 million from money obtained through some of the beneficiaries, out of which they swindled 5.1 million rupees during the last presidential election. How can they say that they can increase financial relief obtained through the Samurdhi? They say that they will increase family benefits.
A collective of civil organizations, trade unions and political parties signed an agreement with the United National Front for Good Governance today.
108 trade unions and civil organizations, including the National Movement for a Just Society, headed by Venerable Maduluave Sobhitathero, signed this agreement. The agreement, which was signed today, cites 14 points. Venerable Maduluave Sobhitathero and United National Party leader Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe signed the agreement, marking the occasion. One of the main factors in the agreement is the introduction of a new constitution. This will pave the way to transform the new parliament to a constitutional council and abolish the executive powers in order to establish a government which is responsible to parliament. This will come into effect following the conclusion of the incumbent president's term in office. The agreement also expresses the party's support to abolish the preferential voting system and introduce a mixed system incorporating first-past-the-post and proportional representation.
A 100-day revolution was caused under the name of good governance. No one ever thought that these things could be accomplished in 100 days. We created a peaceful environment. We worked towards eradicating the autocratic rule and gave concessions to the people. This is how we caused this revolution. But with this revolution, there is a counter-revolution in effect. We did not have the majority in parliament. We are a minority government. We did not take over power of parliament because the alliance agreed with us to provide concessions within the 100 days and to make our president Maithripala Sirisena the leader of his party. But they broke that promise. We could not even establish a constitutional council without politics, let alone a parliament. At a time when we had accomplished our tasks following the 100 days and were going in for an election, what we saw was that the factions that were defeated were organizing themselves to cause this counter-revolution. Because of that, all of our political parties united to counter this. If the people you appoint start taking bribes, commit corruption and take commissions, please call them over and just tell them to drink poison and die quickly. Do not just pull them by the ear and throw them away. Do not give the thieves, the extortionists and the corrupt what they want. It is the people's request that the law be implemented. As civil organizations, we have no intention of giving you power and running behind you. If this is not properly done, we as citizens have the right to build the country. That is our hope for the future. The country belongs to us. This is a decisive election. These civil organizations request the people to fill parliament with people who have the love and respect of the public.
Leader of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, Anuru Kumara Dissanayake, speaking to businessmen yesterday, said that the JVP would cleanse the country of its black economy.
Every person in this country, from the newborn baby to the feeble old man, are in debt of 350,000 rupees. The revenue generated by the government in 2013 was 1,183 billion rupees. The government required 1,191 billion rupees to pay the interest for 2013. What does that mean? The revenue generated by the government a year is not enough to repay the loan installed for that year. Therefore, we have been brought to a situation of economic crisis. We cannot move ahead without solving this issue. Before forming the budget, the Minister of Finance thinks as to how it will affect his business. Before bringing forth policies, the Minister of Industries thinks as to how it will affect his goods. The same goes with the Minister of Ports. He will wonder how it will affect his container yard. Every single one of them has a desire. Therefore, we will give you a guarantee that this black cloud over the business world will be removed. The event was organized to present the Accord of Conscience program of the JVP to the businessmen and have a dialogue on the matter.
Still in election-related news, the Democratic Party held an election rally in Monaragala today.
The meeting was held under the patronage of Sarath Fonseca at the Monaragala market. On the 8th of January, you were granted some freedom. As a result of that, you cannot even find a thug or ruffian in these areas. Therefore, we request that on the 17th of August, that the people come forward to strongly reinstate the freedom and victory we achieved on the 8th.
Welcome back to the news. Let's now take a look at the views expressed on the political stage.
The trend is towards the UNP. No matter how much Mahinda Rajapaksa yells on stages on the 17th of August, it will be Ranil Wickremesinghe who will become Prime Minister and no one else. He comes and goes. The name of the film he is directing is Avo Gio. We will send Ranil Wickremesinghe home. This will be the last movie. There won't be any more. We would like to request Tumula Vimal and the others that there is a need for COPE to investigate the higher deal that took place during the tenure of the former governor of the central bank. Why was $25 million given to British-based company PM Leaguers? What happened to the deals that were carried out to bring the Commonwealth Games to Sri Lanka? In the next parliament, we will call everyone before COPE. Both sides will tell you fairy tales until they secure power. They will show you the moon and sun until they gain power. They will show you other worlds. However, after they secure power, you will have to walk down the old roads. When in the opposition, we become the heroes. We only have to yell. We will look for injustice and scream out to be careful. We too can do that. However, it is difficult when it comes to work. The government can blame the JVP, which has never come into power, over and over. Samurdhi was slashed. If a journalist reported something on us and if the Rajapaksas did not like it, if highlighted their flaws, the white van was sent to hunt the journalists. There are many journalists who remain missing to date. On the 8th of January, we decided that we need to join together within our parliamentary group and bring Mahinda Rajapaksa back to the leadership position of the country, not allowing Ranil Wickremesinghe's government to move forward. He is attempting to revive the corruption that was defeated on the 8th of January. He wants to create extremism in the country. We have come together to take this country forward. The United National Party showed that they cannot work and that they can only steal. They blamed our government that we were swindling from projects. They said that we were taking commissions from the development projects. From where did they take the commission? They did so through obtaining loans. We thought that the country was moving at a rapid pace. However, that is not what had happened. Smoke is coming out of the vehicle. You could accelerate as well. The horn is also being used. Red and blue lights could be visible. However, the vehicle is not moving. Our people committed wrong. They took bribes and engaged in extortion. They never understood the people. That is why we were defeated on the 8th of January. They spoke of the miracle of Asia. However, if you go down that road, bad things happen. That is the situation. Therefore, in order to achieve road development, infrastructure development and other forms of development, give us your support and strength.
The police have launched investigations into an incident in which a distorted flag similar to the national flag was used at the UPFA meeting in Yatinora yesterday.
The flag in question was raised prior to the commencement of a UPFA meeting which was held under the auspices of Kurunegala district candidate Mahinda Rajapaksa in Yatinura. However, the flag was removed before the address of Mahinda Rajapaksa. According to numerous articles published in the papers today, it was noted that the organisers of the event pressured the media who arrived at the location to not show the flag in question.
The flag which was used by those individuals who were seated at the chambers of the parliament during the time Gotabaya Rajapaksa was summoned to the commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, and the one which was raised at an event held in Kandy were all the same flags. Such incidents are taking place in order to spread racism. In such an occasion, it is one's duty to show how his members should behave. When the former president is present, they hang a different flag instead of the national flag. When you raise a fake flag instead of the national flag, not only does it distort the country's identity, but also it nourishes the path to racism.
At a media briefing held today, the police media spokesperson too was questioned over the matter.
A complaint had not been made to the respective police station. However, we have received complaints over distorting the lion flag. They are being investigated.
Newsfirst Shamir Rasuldin caught up with SLFP media spokesperson Dilan Pereira. Let's have a look.
The United People's Freedom Alliance today unveiled a new manifesto titled A Guaranteed Future. Have you all discarded the Mahinda Chintanaya?
No, it's not a case of discarding the Mahinda Chintanaya. It's really a case of fine-tuning the Mahinda Chintanaya and trying to accommodate certain things in the Maitripalana manifesto as well into this new manifesto.
Do you admit that there were several lapses in the Mahinda Chintanaya on its implementation?
Mahinda Chintanaya definitely had several lapses. Otherwise, Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa would have lost.
What were the lapses?
While going in the development programs, there were areas that we would have supervised more. There were areas that we could have had supervision committees more. And that supervision was something that we lacked.
Addressing his supporters, the former president said that he ignored certain misdeeds of the former regime. He accepted that in public.
Yes, I mean, it's good for a leader. And we are, now we are in the process of trying to think new, start new. So that's good.
Within 7 months, the UPFA has transformed itself. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, we have transformed ourselves, we have united ourselves, and we have looked at ourselves inside, and we have fine-tuned some of the principles of the Mahinda Chintanaya, and we have also brought in some of the good principles of the Maitripalana.
The general notion is that the UPFA lost the last presidential elections because the minorities did not vote in favor.
That argument is right and wrong. We lost the last election. One reason is that we couldn't get the support of the minorities. But this election, we must say, Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa is going to be the Prime Minister of the government. The President of the government is going to be Mr. Maitripala Sirisena, who is the alliance leader.
It seems a bit
Mr. Maitripala
contradictory.
Sirisena will bring the minority votes, and Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa will get the other votes, so that we can make the icing cake.
It seems a bit contradictory to the statement that you're making right now, Foreign Minister, because of the reason yesterday we saw in Yatinuara, a certain flag was put up. However, this is not the national flag. We're talking about the minorities now, and this was supposed to be held under the auspices of the former president.
Yes, when Mahinda will go for meetings, large meetings, and there can be elements who can bring that sort of flag, believing that that's the flag, or it can be a plan by the opposition to tarnish mud and create problems.
But we saw a similar flag during a demonstration stage opposite the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, Foreign Minister.
Yes.
Was that also planned?
Yes. Now say
planned by individuals in your party itself?
I can tell you why some people did not know. Nobody know why. Mr. Dalla Sarhapirma, who is a member of parliament, known to all of us, who is never a racist. He apologized to the entire nation saying, well, I went there to the demonstration, somebody gave me something, I took my hand, and he apologized to the nation.
How important is it to appoint a clean parliament on the 17th of August?
It's very important. Let's have ethanol owner-free, casino owner-free parliament. But don't make use of those words to tarnish mud against a particular party just because they are in opposition.
Views were expressed over the response that was made to Nandi Mitreka Naika when he attended a UPFA rally in Naula recently.
This is the manner in which a group reacted when Nandamitra Ekanayake addressed a UPFA rally held in Naula, which was held under auspices of UPFA Kurunegala district candidate Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Naula Rasimedi Paninamitra.
They said that the group who were hooting at Nandamitra Ekanayake during the meeting in Naula were a group who had been given to drink by Rohana Dissanayake and Lakshman Wasanta. It is a problem when people who are to attend a meeting with a crowd of 20 to 30,000 persons present are given to drink. There is a technical problem. I believe that if they had a proper understanding, they would not make such statements. The people know the frogs. This is the 6th time that Nandamitra is crossing over.
හොඳට දැනෙනවා. 6 වෙනි පාරට තමයි මේ පනිනමිත්‍ර පක්ෂ මාරු කරන්නේ.
මම ස්ටේජ් එකට ගොඩ එනකොටමත් මට පොඩි හූ පාරක් දැම්මා.
As soon as I got on the stage, they were hooting at me. They started making a noise when I was going to give a speech as well. But there was no mic given to the ones who cheered me. It is evident that this was staged. When I said that Mahinda Rajapaksa will become the 19th Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, they hooted for that as well. So I began to wonder if they were hooting at me or our leader Mahinda Rajapaksa. This conspiracy was orchestrated by 2 candidates from our party. We found out who they were. They were the ones who gave them alcohol to drink.
In more local news, the Colombo Magistrates Court ordered that the 5 specialist doctors who investigated the death of rugby player Wasim Tajuddin be summoned before court. Court ordered today that the investigation into the death of Wasim Tajuddin, whose body was found close to the Shalika grounds in Narahempita on the 17th of May 2012, be re-examined. The order states that as the investigation on this incident was based solely on hearsay evidence, the doctors be summoned for statements and that these statements be directed to the Attorney General for legal advice. The additional magistrate also ordered that a detailed report on the case be submitted before the 10th of December.
Meanwhile, police arrested an individual in the 6th Mile post area on the Putlam Manor main road for illegally transporting election posters. The office of the police media spokesperson said that the suspect, as support of the Aile Ilange Makka Congress, was produced before the Putlam magistrate and was released on a surety bail. The van in which the posters were being transported was also seized by the police. The office of the police media spokesperson added that the posters that were being transported were of Wani district Aile Ilange Makka Congress candidate Rishad Badiuddin.
Moving on to some exciting news for Sri Lanka, where Sri Lanka and Google signed a partnership today in order to launch Loon High Altitude Floating Telecom Tower balloons full broadband internet coverage to the entire country.
Project Loon is one of Google's most ambitious initiatives to beam broadband internet access down to remote or rural regions through a network of stratosphere roaming balloons.
The entire Sri Lankan island, every village from Dondra to Point Pedro will be covered with affordable high-speed internet using Google Loon's balloon technology, and Sri Lanka hopefully become the very first country in the world to have network connectivity to cover the entire country.
Only 10% of students who pass their A-levels get entrance into the national universities, with another 25% entering private universities, institutions. And I believe that this access to the internet will give opportunity for individuals to gain international online education from their home. Knowing our passion to drive youth development and access to internet being a critical infrastructure that the country requires, I seize this opportunity with a view to bringing education and employment for the youth.
The MOU was signed in Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe's office in Colombo with Google Loon team leader Mike Caste visiting Sri Lanka.
For the second successive year, Newsfirst.lk has been awarded the Silver Award in the Best Web.lk 2015 competition. Newsfirst.lk, Sri Lanka's #1 trilingual news provider, won the Silver Award under the Best Media Website category, marking the 3rd time the site has claimed the award.
Organised for the 6th consecutive year, Bestweb.lk 2015 is an innovative competition organised by the LK Domain Registry to recognise the best websites in Sri Lanka. The participants of the competition are judged on both creativity and technical achievement. Newsfirst.lk, Sri Lanka's #1 trilingual news provider, won the Silver Award under the Best Media Website category. A panel of judges comprising industry experts select the winners.
Moving on to some local news, former UMP Balapiti organiser Kamal Jayaratne convened a press conference today in Koskoda.
Today I decided to resign from the post of chief organiser of the party and give up all the other responsibilities in the Balapiti electorate. The main reason for that is because I stand against Jayaratne Silva contesting under UNP, as he is the person responsible for destroying good governance by using former Minister Sajin Divasa's name to carry out murderous acts and underworld activities. This is not something my conscience will allow me to do. I vehemently protest Asoka Dhanawangsa's appointment as the acting organiser for this electorate, as he was the one who requested his resignation from the post of organiser in the last election. I was able to work during the rough period alone. There was no need to bring in another organiser.
Dr. Rajitha Senaratne had this to say in response to his suspension from the SLFP.
We have no problem about being removed. We maintain our relations with the President. Nevertheless, we are working towards a national government. We, the President and Ranil Wickremesinghe are in this together. They tried this last time as well, and they took us back and gave us promotions.
It was a deal of promotion. Well, that would wrap up the news for tonight. For the News team, I'm Joel Alsco.
And I'm Mahina Bongso. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Good night.